It's hilarious. Okay, so this was a couple of years ago. I don't remember exactly when. So I was doing this big trip to I quit my job and gonna go see all my friends and rediscover myself and visit my friends on the farm and go to Chicago and see some people there and all right. And so I don't have a car. I'm super poor. I'm I'll just get a megabus. So I took the megabus to the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and my friends picked me up and I go and stay at their farm, and they're or the farm they're working at. And they're oh, this farm's really weird, and blah blah blah. And I'm oh, this is some stuff in my life, and all I want to do is get back to the Twin Cities, get on this bus, and think for 4 hours with my quiet music, and deal with this vacation and quitting my job and moving neighborhoods. It's a huge difference to move from the north side to Lawrenceville. It's big, huge changes, massive sea change. So it's 10 degrees outside. It's I chose to go on vacation in January to Minnesota because it was brilliant. And so I'm there at the bus stop, and I've got my bag because I travel light and I'm dirty. And so I've got these shitty shoes on, and I'm standing in the cold, and all these other people are milling around waiting for this bus. And so we're just sitting there, standing around. It's fucking cold. And so I go inside the train station, and I'm still cold, and everything's cold. And this megabus pulls up. I'm finally, thank God. And so they unload everybody. The driver gets off the bus, opens the thing, the bags, walks off, and the guy he just gets right back on the bus and drives away. And so I'm oh, that's weird. Maybe they probably sent me with the bus. It's fine. And so I wait there for another 20 minutes. Everyone's staring at each other. Looking around, and all of a sudden this no-name Coach brand bus pulls up, and it's looking at him, and he walks out. And I go up to the guy, and I'm is this subcontracted from Megabus or something? And he's I don't know, man. All I know is if you want to go to Union Station in Chicago, you should get on the bus. So I was oh, I don't want to go to Union Station in Chicago, so I get on the bus. So I got my bag, and I get on this mystery bus with a mystery driver who's a really nice mustache in here, and he's a really nice guy. And so I'm so fucking cold, and I'm sitting in the back of the bus because I hate waiting in line, so I wait till everyone goes on and go back in the bus. And I take off my shoes and my socks, and I'm trying to warm up my toes because I can't feel them. And so finally, I get my toes warm, put my shoes back on, I got my headphones on, I'm ready to go. Okay, listen to my quiet music. I'm driving through Minnesota, and I'm oh, this is pretty, this is not, okay, this is great, okay, quiet. So I'm about to fall asleep. All of a sudden, I just sort of feel this rocking motion. I'm oh, that's nice. And then it sort of goes over this way. And someone starts screaming. And they're oh my God! Oh my God! And so the bus keeps swaying and swaying. And I was remarkably calm. Well, I'm going to put my feet up and put my knees, brace myself here. And screaming. And swaying. And then so all of a sudden, the bus sways into this median, the snow-covered median. Because we're in Wisconsin in the middle of winter. And it's just plows into this big grassy middle of the highway thing, and the bus is swaying, and everyone's screaming, my God, my God. And he lurched to a stop, and I look up from the back of the bus, straight through the tree. Here's the window, and there's a tree, inches from this tree. And so it turns out the bus driver had a seizure while driving the bus. And so we were stopped in this median, and with no bus driver that didn't need medical attention. So the police come, and the school buses come, and everyone's complaining about, oh, my neck hurts pretty bad. So we all get on the buses, and they take us to the combination of fire department, police department, town hall, and library, Baldwin, Wisconsin. And so we're sitting there, and it's no one knows what's going on. The police are trying to figure out what's going on. The community is rallying. And I'm sweet, pizza, awesome. And so they come in, and the firemen are we got your food! And it's this big box of hamburgers from McDonald's. And I was this is great if, Ross, I'm a vegetarian. And I'm well, this is a situation where I should just eat a hamburger
But I was like, no. So I like rallied people and was like, does anybody want pizza? We gotta stand up for our rights and not like, we gotta eat what we want. And so we get pizza and I'm like, we're killing time. I'm like building a puzzle with a grandmother and this like, I don't know, college student. I have no idea what's going on. And so they're like, we gotta shut this down. We gotta go. You can't stay here. It's after 5. Library closes at 5. You gotta go. And so I was trying to figure out what to do. And so we ended up going to this roadhouse. So we get on the school buses. They take us to the roadhouse. And we're like, finally, a place to get a drink. And so I walk in and just like sit at the bar. I'm just like, I need some scotch or something. I need like whiskey in a pint glass. Can you do that for me? And the bartender was like, hey, you're with that bus group, right? I was like, yeah, you heard about that. It's sucky, huh? Sucks pretty bad. She's like, yeah, I can't serve you. I can't serve you alcohol. I was like, that's funny, because that's the only thing I want in this world right now. I was like, I'm gonna go outside. So I go outside, and I'm looking around across the street from the roadhouse. There's an Exxon or some gas station. And I'm like, oh, I'm not in Pennsylvania, so I can just go there. So I go over there, and I'm like, I look at the guy behind the counter, and just like, well, I'm looking at him while I'm walking to the cooler where the beer is, and I grab a Budweiser. I think they made them in like 30-ounce cans or something. I don't know. It was absurd. And so I buy this can of beer. He puts it in the bag, and I walk out in the parking lot and stand between 2 trucks and shotgun this beer in about 5 seconds. And I walk back to the roadhouse and feel a little bit better. And I'm just sitting there, and then it all gets worked out. They put us on a bus at like 2 in the morning. We've been there for hours. And they put us on the bus, and I fall asleep, and all of a sudden, and then from Chicago. And so that was a really good way, ultimately, of not being quiet and thinking about my bullshit problems instead of having like a real life experience. Thank you.